Abraham Lincoln, the log cabin boy who became America's hero once upon a time. In a land called America, there lived a man named Abraham Lincoln. He was tall and wore a big hat, and he was known as the honest president. Abraham Lincoln, or Abe as his friends called him, wasn't born in a fancy palace. He was born in a tiny log cabin way back in 1809. Abe's family didn't have much money, but they had something even more valuable: love for each other. Long before he became the President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln was just a boy, growing up in a log cabin in the wilderness of Kentucky. Even as a young boy, Abraham Lincoln loved to read. He would borrow books from anyone who had them, and he would read them by the light of the fire late into the night. One day, Abraham borrowed a book from the owner of a nearby farm. He promised to take good care of it and return it when he was finished. But unfortunately, Abraham accidentally damaged the book while he was reading it. So, Abraham did the only thing he could think of. He went to the owner of the farm and offered to work in his fields to pay for the damage. Day and night, Abraham worked in the fields, plowing the land and planting crops. He worked harder than anyone else, determined to make things right. And finally, after many long days and nights, Abraham was able to repair the book and return it to its owner, good as new. It was a lesson that stayed with Abraham for the rest of his life: the importance of honesty, hard work, and keeping your word. It was these values that guided Abraham Lincoln as he became one of the greatest leaders in American history. Abraham Lincoln became the President of the United States during a difficult time. The country was divided, and many people were fighting with each other. It was called the Civil War, and it was a time of great sadness and hardship. But Abraham Lincoln had a big heart and a strong belief in what was right. He believed that all people should be free and equal, no matter the color of their skin. And he worked hard to make that dream come true. Abraham Lincoln was also known for his honesty. He always told the truth, even when it was hard. One time, when he was a young man, Abraham Lincoln accidentally overcharged a customer at his store. Instead of keeping the extra money, he walked for miles to return it. That's just the kind of person he was. Always honest, always fair, and always standing up for what is right. In his famous Gettysburg Address, Abraham Lincoln said that America should be a country where everyone is treated with kindness and respect. And he worked tirelessly to make that dream a reality. Abe loved learning. He would read books by candlelight, even borrowing them from neighbors. He grew up tall and strong, helping his family on their farm. Abe grew up to be a lawyer. Lawyers fight for what's right in court. Abe was known as Honest Abe because he always told the truth, no matter what. He argued cases for people who couldn't afford fancy lawyers themselves. Abe became famous for his speeches about freedom and keeping the country united. People loved his honesty and strong beliefs. Guess what? He became the President of the United States in 1861. President Lincoln made a very important decision. He signed a special paper called the Emancipation Proclamation. This declared that all enslaved people were free. It was a huge step towards a more just country. This was a law that said all slaves in America should be set free. Abraham Lincoln didn't abolish slavery with a magic wand, but he took a big step towards it. In 1863, he signed a special paper called the Emancipation Proclamation. This document declared that all enslaved people living in states fighting to leave the United States, the Confederacy, were free. It wasn't a perfect solution, but it hurt the Confederacy and made the war about more than just states' rights. It became a fight for freedom. Lincoln also pushed for the 13th Amendment, which officially outlawed slavery throughout the entire country in 1865. Thanks to Lincoln's leadership and the bravery of many soldiers, slavery finally came to an end in America. It was a brave and noble thing to do, and it helped to change the course of history. Sadly, Abraham Lincoln's story has a tragic ending. While attending a play at Ford's Theater in 1865, a famous actor named John Wilkes Booth snuck up behind the president and shot him in the head. This terrible act called an assassination, took Lincoln's life just as the Civil War was ending. It was a huge loss for the country, but Lincoln's legacy of fighting for freedom lives on. People built a giant monument in Washington, D.C., called the Lincoln Memorial to remember him as the honest president who saved the country and fought for freedom. So let us remember Abraham Lincoln, the honest president who saved a country and showed us all the true meaning of courage, kindness, and integrity. Thank you for joining us on this adventure through history. Abraham Lincoln showed us that honesty, courage, and fighting for what's right can make a real difference. What will you do today to make the world a better place? Comment below and tell us what you learned from this story today. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more exciting history adventures. See you next time!